Maussan TV.
Congressman Tim Burchett, first of all, it's a big honor for us to be here with you because you have become the leader of this fight, not just for the American people, for the people of the world. You represent us now in front of the most powerful political arm that the American government has to
Right.
be able to do something here.
Well, thank you.
Why are you doing
Appreciate
it?
that. Why am I doing that? I just want the truth. I want the truth. We are spending tens of millions of dollars on something in this country, and I get stonewalled everywhere I turn. Every department, the Pentagon, the military-industrial complex, if you will, and every group. Again, they tell us these things don't exist. And I've said this many times, it's not about little green men or flying saucers. And you as a journalist, it's about transparency. It's about letting us know what we're spending all this dadgum money on.
And have you obtained anything?
A little. Most of it, though, is behind the scenes things. And I've obtained some things that are classified. And I've been told outside of classified settings, I was with one of our top pilots, former top pilot, and he's one of the best in the world. And he said to me, Tim, that thing was 14 feet from my canopy. And he went like that. And what struck me odd about that, he didn't say 15, he didn't say 20. He was very precise at 14 feet from his canopy. And, the guy's reputation is well, like yourself, it's everything he has. And why would he come forward with that to face humiliation? I've talked to former admirals, I've talked to military personnel, I've talked to civilians. Friends of mine have come forward that have seen things when they were in the military and way back to the 50s. And the interesting thing about some of these sightings is they're identical in the way they describe the craft. And I don't know what they are. If I did, I would write a book.
You are convinced that they exist?
Do what?
Are you convinced that they exist?
Something exists, yes, sir. And and people question my, I'm a born again Christian, and I'm not sure what that translates. I suspect you're Catholic, but Jesus is our deal, and to think that we are the best that God can do, and in the vastness of God's great universe, are we it? And when I go out every night, my dogs, they never want to go to the bathroom when I'm awake. It's always in the middle of the night, so I let them out, all three of them, Roscoe, Buzz, and Charlie. And last night, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, I always look up at the stars. And the light from those stars left there before the time of Christ. That's the vastness of God's great universe. We are a speck in a million beaches. And so I just don't, I think the God that created a lightning bug, a bug that has electricity in its tail that lights up, if he could do that, could he not create more? And I think he has. And I don't understand what, I'll be very careful what I say here. I don't understand the technology behind some things that I've seen. How about if I leave it at that? And you know what I mean? And I have to be very careful. But, I have the utmost respect for our military fighting men and women. It has nothing to do with them. It's some guy sitting behind a desk that has, and they're arrogant, and that ticks me off.
Are you convinced they are hiding something?
Yes, sir. I'm 100% convinced they're hiding something. I've talked to too many military personnel that tell me what they're hiding, and they've told me where they're hiding some of this stuff.
What David Grosh said then is real, it's truth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They're hiding something, and I've talked to too many people that have about crafts, and if there's a craft, something had to fly it here. If it's an unmanned drone, I get that. That's our new technology, new talking, but it's just, it's too much.
The problem here is that if they accept they have something, they would be accepting that they lie in the last 70 years, 80 years.
Well, since Roswell, or there's been some other incidents that happened. Yes, sir. They're not telling us the truth. But the thing is, it's so compartmentalized, and every person that was involved in, say, Roswell, New Mexico, or any of these other sightings, they're long gone. And so it was compartmentalized then, and anybody who knew the full story is long gone. But again, they're spending and they'll release these reports, but they're heavily redacted. It looks like somebody shot them with a 12-gauge shotgun. You know, that they're just blacked out. If they don't exist, then let me see what's in those reports.
Is national security the issue here?
I think that's what we've been sold as a bill of goods. I think it's power, it's greed, it's influence, and those are all the things that drive Washington D.C. And it's people want to call it a swamp, and it's really just an open sewer.
Because if they have something, if they don't want to share it, it's because they are using it for what?
Well,
war or for?
Yeah, technology. Could you imagine if in the latest, the Tic Tac videos that everybody's talking about, that, you know, a friend of mine, I assume, is the one that leaked those.
Chris Mellon.
Well, somebody maybe. But they, you know, they show no heat signature. So imagine something that produces that much energy, that can do all those miraculous things that I've seen them do. Imagine what that would do to our energy sector. The people, the big boys that make all the money. I mean, it would put our Pentagon out of business. For one, we wouldn't need to fight these worthless wars for oil, which is what we fight a lot of our wars for, obviously, is energy. And it would just put them out of business, because we could heat our homes in the winter. Poor folks wouldn't have to go without. We wouldn't have to burn coal. We wouldn't have to burn trees. You could cool them in the summer.
Is that one of the reasons, you think?
I think it is. I think it's a control. But also I think there's an arrogance that they think that we can't handle it. And that's not their business. It's my business to decide what I can handle and what I cannot handle. And then they throw out the phony religious argument, which I've discussed with you before, earlier. So I think there's a combination of all those things in there.
Well, I talked to people inside the Vatican, and they were ready when science accept this and the government of the United States accept this, the church would accept it.
I think the church would accept it. I don't have a problem with that. I've had those moments where somebody sort of close to me in Washington on a long hallway, just me and him walking, pulls me off to the side and says, "Hey, Burchett," you know, they're both, he says, "Do you really want this out there? I mean, do you really want to get to the bottom of this? Don't you know what that could do to the religious structure?" You know, they're trying to appeal to me because they know I'm a Christian. I'm not a very good one. I'm not up here. I'm just forgiven. But the truth is that they do not. I think they're running out of straws to grab. And if we get a president in office, that's why I've been encouraged about President Trump. His folks have indicated to me that they want total disclosure. Let it go.
And you think Kamala Harris wouldn't do it?
No, I don't think she would. I don't think she grasps it. I don't think she's. I think she's a product of the system, and that's when and what happens by the time you stay in office for so long, you get compromised. They own you. One way or the other, they own you. Your family gets a job. They got pictures of you in a compromising position. You got a family member that's been in trouble, and that went away. And I'm sure Mexico's the same deal.
Absolutely. Are you planning to do new audiences?
Yes, sir. We are in the works right now of doing a new hearing, and that's what you mean by the use of hearing. Yes, sir. Yeah. And that's what we're working on. We're gonna. I've made a lot of people mad. I was told by somebody high up in the administration that I had, their exact words, I've kicked a hornet's nest and made a lot of enemies. And their other exact words were, I needed to get some bodies around me because they were afraid somebody might try to do me in. I don't think that's the case. But I do think that we've made a lot of people mad, and that's a good thing.
And with a new hearing, what would you plan there? I mean,
I think we're going to, I would like to bring in some people from the scientific community and some people that are well known and allow them to tell their story in that setting and be asked questions on a bipartisan. See, I have friends on both sides of the aisle that are in, Jared Moskowitz out of, he's on the opposite side of my aisle on everything. I mean, he's very progressive. He's Jewish, and he's a Democrat. I'm a Republican. I'm a Christian, and I'm conservative. But he's probably one of my best friends. We're very close. AOC, Alexandria Ocasio. I talked to her just before I left Washington, just a couple weeks ago, and she's fired up. She wants on it.
Yeah, this subject seems to join people.
It does. I think. Just because we have a mutual distrust of government. I mean, that's what everybody wants to get to some intellectual level, but the reality is the swamp or the uniparty, and we've all been almost crushed by it, and so I think that unites us.
Have you been threatened? You mentioned that once.
Yeah, sure, I don't care. I'm a big boy. I've been in this game for a long time. I'm from Tennessee. We don't take that very well. We take care of our own.
Is it dangerous?
Do what?
Is it dangerous to get involved in this?
Yeah, it's dangerous. Sure, it's dangerous. Just politically. People attack me all the time about it. But when they see the polling numbers, it's like at 65% and climbing every day, because every time there's another news story, somebody, it's past the little green man in flying saucer stage. People know something's going on. When our top military people in the world say it doesn't exist, and then they say the tapes are fake, and then they come back and say the tapes are real, and we don't know what it is. That's where they're at right now. So,
are there going to be more David Grosches there?
More what?
More people like David Grosh?
Yeah, David Grush. Yeah, Grush. Yeah, I think there's going to be more people like him. We would have had a lot more the last time, but they were threatened, and they wouldn't. And we had, gosh, Jamie, I'd say we had 13 or maybe 15 people that were on the list, and they all peeled off. And we had 3 brave patriots that came forward.
Chuck Schumer and Green Browns are planning to do a new.
Yes, sir. And I've been very cautious of that because it's more or less modeled after the Kennedy assassination, the way they would do that. And here it is, 61 years, and we still don't know everything. They won't release everything on that. I just want disclosure, and they want a group of non-elected bureaucrats to go over everything before they release it. It just takes one compromised person in that position. I say, I trust the American public. You're spending dollars on it. Let me know what the heck it is.
What are your plans now? Is it going to possible? Do you see this as a success story? Will you be able to open this?
I think it's a success story in the fact that people that have seen something or heard or believe in it are now not chastised. It's gone past the, kind of whispering thing, and people are openly. You're a major, a world-known figure sitting here talking to a United States congressman about it, and there's not, and I get the stereotypes and things, but that's the last thing I said in the committee, and I just was speaking to the people out there. Said, I want you to know that people are listening to what you're saying. People believe you. You don't have to hide and cower because of the stigma attached to this anymore. I've never seen anything. I've never seen anything that I couldn't define, but a lot of people have. I haven't seen anything just out.
Will they allow you to see things?
But I've seen I'm just saying as a civilian I haven't seen, but as a congressman I have seen things, sure. I've seen, well, it's been reported. Yeah, I've seen things that our military does not have the capabilities of doing, and nobody else in this world does.
Well, that's very impressive, my friend. It means that, are you going to continue with this? How long
absolutely.
Are you going to
I'm just going to keep going until we get full disclosure. There's no other thing.
Year after year, it doesn't matter what?
Yeah, and it you know, you kind of get diminishing returns if you're not careful. That's why I don't want to just have a hearing every week. You know, we're going to have one hopefully before the end of the year, but we'll see. We'll see. If it doesn't work out, then it'll be next year. But I'm not going to yield to the pressure of either side saying, we got to have this hearing right now, we got to do it now, and then people saying we're not going to do it. There's somewhere in the middle that I'm going to land, and we're going to do it. It's just not going to be anybody else's timing but ours.
Congressman Paulina Luna announced that you will have this audience this same year, this hearing. Is that possible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She's, I'm very close to Luna. She has her husband Andy and little baby Henry, as I call him. He's a beautiful little boy, and I love them. They've become very close to me.
When do you plan to do it?
Well, before the end of the year, I hope.
Before the end of
yes,
the
sir.
year.
That's what Luna and everybody else has stated, so I'm on with them.
Danny Sheehan mentioned that, who's a very good friend of mine, that by October 14 they would have to release something. Is that true?
They always say that, but then they don't do it. They push it back because of national security.
That's always the reason? The official reason is national security.
But that's not the real reason. That's why.
Which is the real reason?
Greed, power, arrogance, all those things. It's like I said, the things that make Washington go. But I'm going to keep pushing. They're going to try to beat me. They try to beat me every time with this, and I think it just makes us stronger because the UFO community, like you said, it's worldwide. I could do an interview every day with it if I chose to. I can't. I just don't have time.
I know.
And it is growing. You're right.
A world hero, you know that.
I don't know about a hero. My daddy was.
You are.
My daddy was a hero. He fought in the war. My uncle died in the war. That's his flag. My mama flew an airplane here north. That's the only.
You are too.
I don't know about that.
They should be proud of you.
Well, thank you.
I am proud of you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
I really do.
Right on.
And one more thing.
Yes, sir.
We've been investigating in Peru these tridactyl creatures.
Yes, sir.
Would you be interested in this subject?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I would be interested in getting some people to analyze those bodies that independent of the federal government.
If we are able to bring them into the States, you would be interested to get involved in that?
Sure. I would help you find somebody to analyze it.
That's very important for many people, you know that.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to bring you here many x-rays, tomographies, whatever you need to take it to any university, any scientist you want, to get your own results, and hopefully, because it is what it is, they will tell you they are real. And if they are real, at that moment you can be absolutely certain that this case is real. And it's very important because we, the civil society of the world, have these bodies. These bodies don't belong, or they are not in the hands of the Peruvian government. We have 7 bodies, humanoid bodies, with 3 fingers, no ears, reptile skin. The fingerprints are horizontal. And there are so many little details that tell you that they are not human.
Okay.
But we believe we need a champion like you to make this true in America and in the world. Can we come with you?
Yeah, I'll be glad to help you. My science stopped about 1980 at Bearden High School. So we got top people in the world are right here in Tennessee.
You get involved anyone you want.
University of Tennessee, I'm an alma mater, as my alma mater.
When you are secure. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Gracias.
Gracias a ti. Muchas gracias, Tim.
Thank you, brother.